Okay, it is WAN show time, and we're gonna get it. Okay, are we kind of? No, now you're too center stage. Okay, this is the Linus show, not the. Wait, no, it's
This
not.
is the WAN show.
Okay, then. Okay, fine. Come on. then come on in here, buddy.
Speaking of come on in here, buddy, we were doing some weird stuff today.
We were doing some real weird stuff today. It involved drag.
Yeah.
It involved lipstick, which
Yeah.
is part of drag.
Fake mustaches.
It involved fake mustaches. It involved a cell phone and taking pictures. Actually, no, it's not as crazy as it sounds.
Yeah.
We're working on a piece for Honor, for the Honor 6X phone, and actually, I think it's going to be pretty fun.
It seems like it's going to be pretty entertaining.
Have you actually read the script, or were you just kind of doing what you?
I had no idea.
Okay.
That's why every time we got up to a shot, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I actually had no clue.
Okay, so the concept behind the video is it's kind of like it's like the videos that I've hosted in the past, where I compared my generation to my kids' generation and sort of the differences then versus now. Okay, well, this time it's now versus then.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at my generation versus the baby boomers and the way that we use technology.
Yeah, and some of the ways that, like, you, knowing technology, might think certain things that they do is just silly and unnecessary and slow or whatever.
Solutions that are obvious to us.
Yeah.
And not as obvious to our parents and our grandparents. So it should actually be a pretty fun little video. It's a lot better. We made it sound kind of lame. Well, I made it sound kind of lame.
Well, part of the added bonus is that, like, so far, at least, all of the characters are played by Linus and I.
Yes.
So Linus is played by Linus, and then, like, I don't know, is it just Grandma?
My grandma is played by me.
Yeah.
My aunt is played by him.
Yeah.
My dad is definitely played by him.
Yeah.
So we kind of went full Monty Python on, like, the female characters all being...
Okay, and they got me a medium dress.
Well, okay.
I don't even fit medium. Oh, I guess it wasn't for me, but, like, I don't even fit medium men's clothes.
They bought me a medium dress. You volunteered to fit into to cram yourself into it.
I can still feel it under here.
There was, like, barely room for him to stuff the front.
Yeah.
The good news was it was so tight that you were able to stuff the front without needing a bra.
Yes. Yeah. Because
So
we were
silver
using
lining.
like microfiber cloth.
Anyway,
man.
we've got a great show for you guys this week, and for crying out loud, I didn't change the name of the bloody stream again.
Is it after party?
Yeah, the float party.
Float party.
Dang, gosh darn damn it, the WAN show, tech. Okay, do you want to tell them what topics we got? You don't even know, do you?
Sure. No, I do. The Intel is going to be doing some stuff with Thunderbolt 3. They're going to bring it to more things, and I think they're, like, opening it up a little bit, so it should be more common, which is really good.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah. Also, there has been a squashed rumor AMD will not be licensing graphics chips to Intel. Not going to be a thing. Google has made the ultimate marketing tool, which is way creepier than it sounds, although you might have seen that coming. And then Intel has, Intel not necessarily, but someone has leaked some benchmarks of an Intel 7900X and a Gigabyte X299 Aorus Gaming 7. And we have those details.
Oh, and there are some very interesting specs in that leak. So without further ado, let's roll the intro that works with music.
It will. It's been doing pretty good lately. I guess we'll have no idea.
People are like, they finally arrived on time to a WAN show, but they're probably in, like, other time zones and don't realize that we're actually, like, almost an hour late.
Because they think we're 8 minutes early.
Because daylight savings time.
Instead of 52 minutes late.
Hey, we appreciate your vote of confidence. You guys are wonderful.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I can do about the fan. This razor blade, this is my old blade because I accidentally left my backpack at work. This razor blade is, like, super not thrilled. Also, there's more background noise in general in the warehouse right now because, as some of you doubted, actually, there were a lot of comments when, I forget who posted it on social.
That
but
picture?
The picture of the empty warehouse. They're like, why would you post a picture of the warehouse before you moved in now? And we're like, oh, because that's what it looks like right now. So this place is a frickin' construction zone. It is going to be,
So they thought it was like a nostalgia pic.
Yes.
No, that like torn apart mess is the warehouse currently. Yeah.
And the upstairs is full of like pretty much everything that was in that part of the warehouse, both Colton and Nick. So the whole thing where they're in like a sales office that's like clearly a one-person sized office and they're both in there, that's because we don't have any room to put them anywhere else.
So that's where they are.
We're renovating. So we're updating the sets. We're building out a mezzanine that so it was originally supposed to be a mezzanine for storage of like cases and monitors and boxes.
Because that actually takes up a ridiculous amount of space after a while.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And it like becomes a problem because you can't really get rid of this stuff. So got to put it somewhere. And then it turned into, why don't we make that actual office space? Because it was an opportunity to deal with a couple of problems that had crept up on us. 2 bathrooms is actually not really quite enough. Let's say a couple people at LMG go out for dinner the night before, and let's say, they both get a bad case of the I gotta sit in the bathroom for a long time at a time. Well, a third person has no way to use a bathroom, so we kind of needed another bathroom.
We are getting to the point where there's like sometimes lineups of more than one person waiting.
And for the microwave?
Yeah.
So we kind of needed another like kitchenette or a bigger one, but like obviously we can't go back and like do that now. That's not a thing.
Yep.
We did actually discuss putting another kitchen on the other side of the same wall, so we wouldn't have to redo any of the plumbing.
Yeah, that would actually be a lot easier.
But now that we're gonna have this space and it can serve,
it makes sense more to have it somewhere else. It'd just be easier to do it here.
So there's that, and then there was one person in particular, and I'm not going to name any names.
Everyone's asking.
Someone who really wanted a shower. A shower.
Wait, we are getting one?
We're getting a shower.
Oh, what the timing? The timing.
Yeah, so funny story, like, he might not be here that long. Because Floatplane Media is probably going to get its own space. It's going to be like...
finally won't have my shower.
It's going to be a jank AF, like, leased
terrible
space.
Yeah.
There's no way it's going to have, like, nice facilities. Because, we don't know how fast the company's going to grow. The last thing we're going to do is, like, invest heavily into renovating a space, only to be like...
Okay, bye.
Well, that was a great 6 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I'll just have to come here and shower.
No, there will not be a fire pole, and yes, you are more than welcome to shower in our definitely not monitored shower anytime you want, babe.
I'm okay with that.
All right, so why don't we jump into our first tech topic of the day?
Yeah.
This, you know what? I fell for it.
I did a little bit too. Unfortunately, I think because it would have been pretty cool, so we were both like, you know what, sure.
Yep, I was down for so what made this rumor kind of credible, and it was that AMD was going to be licensing chips to Intel for onboard graphics. What made it somewhat credible to me was that Intel and NVIDIA don't really work that closely together anymore. It was rumor, and the rumor was because of a previous licensing deal between Intel and NVIDIA that expired in March. And it was basically suggesting that Intel was licensing graphics IP from NVIDIA, and that deal had expired, and rather than reach a new deal with NVIDIA, they had worked with ATI Technologies Group, which owned by AMD, but sort of a separate unit, to make sure that they weren't going to have any trouble with their own graphics chips and getting chased down due to patent infringements or whatever the case may be. And it all kind of made made sense, sort of, except that I know that Intel actually has invested very heavily in their own graphics.
Yeah.
Probably does own a lot of their own patents. And at this point, for them to go ahead with what the rumor suggested, and that was that Intel CPUs would have powered by Radeon graphics inside them, which would have actually been like pretty awesome.
That's, I think,
Best
again,
of both worlds.
why we sort of believed it to a certain degree. Was like, it didn't sound completely impossible, and it would have been super cool.
But it's also like, I can see why not, because Intel has invested so heavily in their own graphics IP that for them to just kind of go, oh, okay, yeah, well, you know what, forget it. We're just going to use AMD tech does seem a little hard to believe, especially when most folks aren't really complaining about Intel onboard graphics these days. The other reason that, looking back on it, that it doesn't make sense, and this is ultimately where the rumor got squashed. So that's the article off Fortune, and that's where, from my perspective, I'm looking at it going, oh yeah, Intel's got still, whether you like it or not, still the best instruction per clock, and they've got the highest clock speeds available on their chips. So having an Intel CPU with AMD onboard graphics would be kind of the best of both worlds. But Dr. Su from AMD came out and said, look, we're not looking at enabling a competitor to compete against our products. It's not about how do we sell more products or how do we have IP in markets where we're not currently selling products. AMD just basically straight up said, even if Intel wanted it, they're not looking to put AMD's graphics technology, which is good, on Intel's CPUs. They're going to keep it on AMD's CPUs. And for now, those products are frankly not that compelling because AMD's got their graphics technology on older series APUs that are running just what is not in terms of months or years really old architecturally, but in terms of how much better the Zen Core is, really old architecturally products. So when they bring us Zen Core APUs, all of a sudden, I think mine and Luke's excitement about having Radeon graphics on Intel CPUs doesn't really matter as much because you'll be able to get Radeon graphics on a Zen Core CPU. So, I was amped for it. Not a thing, but I'm not that disappointed.
So a lot of people are freaking out.
About?
And there's like hashtag save Luke in the chat and stuff. I'm not like
He's not dying.
Yeah. And like I'll still be around.
He's
and,
not
like,
fired.
I don't have any intent to not do WAN show. And like I'm still planning on doing some videos here and there. I'm definitely gonna be on VR stuff, hopefully when it gets, like more interesting and better. And then like I have some videos coming down the chain. If you have any here, help me out. If you have any like really weird but kind of interesting or unheard of but neat technology things that you know of, just hit me up on Twitter. Down over there.
Twitch chat's freaking out. We saved Luke. Yeah.
You did it, Reddit.
Oh, terrible. What do we got for our next topic?
I'll move us on. Okay, this is cool though. Because, the last one is a little bit disappointing because we both kind of wanted it to happen because those would have been really, really, really cool processors. I personally would have liked to see them in laptops. But this one does seem to be happening. Don't believe it's a rumor. Intel's plan to Thunderbolt 3 all the things. So Thunderbolt 3 still hasn't gone mainstream, which has been frustrating for a lot of people due to a combination of high cost and low availability. Now Intel is taking 2 steps to accelerate the adoption of Thunderbolt 3. They're integrating Thunderbolt 3 into Intel CPUs.
Finally!
Yes.
Thank you!
Yes. Which is super awesome.
I mean, the fact that it was so expensive to add to the motherboard meant that it only existed on these super high-end products, and so you were stuck with it just being like niche-tastic for people who are willing to invest a bunch of money into a premium board and, in many cases, buy an additional add-on module.
And in terms of lower end cost, this is like not better, but like better in certain ways. Next year, they are making the Thunderbolt protocol specification available to third-party chip makers royalty-free.
you know what's really funny about this is I had spent so much time talking about Thunderbolt 3 as like one of the only key differentiators that I could think of between buying Intel and buying AMD now that Ryzen exists. Because whether you have a specific use for it today or not, it's a really cool technology. And having the expandability of a Thunderbolt 3 port on any device is not something that I would say no to. You never know how things are going to go down. For example, I'm working on a test bench right now that's got dual graphics cards, a 10 gigabit NIC, and a Red Rocket X accelerator in it. It has 6 PCI Express slots. If I wanted to put anything else in there, you know what? Hey, being able to connect it via Thunderbolt, like let's say I had like a professional audio capture device or something.
Yeah.
A nice high speed, low latency, daisy chainable interface. I'm not gonna say no to that. And the same thing goes for laptops. A lot of people don't think Thunderbolt 3 is that big of a deal. Microsoft.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That was very disappointing.
Okay, we will talk about that after.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't think Thunderbolt 3 is that big of a deal on a laptop, but I'm looking at it going, you're not thinking 3 years out when some new, hot shiz thing happens and you want to be able to connect it. The other thing you're not thinking about is that while external graphics enclosures don't make a ton of sense right now, while the cheap ones use proprietary interfaces like the Alienware graphics booster, whatever they call it anyway.
I think it's Boost.
It performed really, really well in our test. Graphics amplifier. Like the Alienware, so that one's like $200, but the Razer Core is like 400 or
it's
500,
really
something like that. Okay, that won't be true forever. There are already cheaper ones on the market, and that's only going to continue to happen. So 3 years down the line, so people look at it and they go, what? You're going to spend $1,500 on a laptop, another $500 on an enclosure, and another $500 on a graphics card that, on any graphics card that would actually be faster than what's in your laptop? No, of course not. You're going to spend $1,500 on a laptop, use the GPU that's in there, and then 3 years down the line, instead of spending another $1,500 on a laptop so that you can game, you're going to spend $200 or $150 on an enclosure, and by then graphics technology will be such that you could spend $150 on a graphics card and it'll be better than what's in your laptop. That is the point that people are missing with Thunderbolt 3. So having it is a total bonus. And for me, so AMD announced that they're going to be doing mobile Zen-based CPUs soon. That to me was going to be a real bummer for investing in an AMD laptop. But now this potentially changes everything. So let's talk about Microsoft not thinking Thunderbolt 3 is a big deal.
Yeah, so they brought us to China, which was super interesting, and we figure out what's coming out, and I'm pretty excited because Linus had actually, oddly, very recently made a video about the Surface Pro 4, which was weird because it was a super late video. It was like wildly late. Like this video came out 2 months ago, I think. So his opinions on it were very fresh. And lots of comments under the video were very fresh in terms of like there's a new product coming out. So I have like everything ready. I'm like, okay, all right. I've been told by them that like they've directly addressed claims and stuff. I'm like, man, this is really exciting. I like feel like I know what's coming. And I feel like one of the quotes that you said in the Surface Pro 4 video was that you feel like the Surface Pro 4 was the first time that the Surface Pro lined up with Microsoft's vision for what it was supposed to be.
Yep.
So I was like, here we go. One of my lines was literally like, and this is where they take it from there. And I was like, all freaking excited. And then Linus's biggest complaints, in my opinion, that happened in that video were all I/O based. There was a micro SD card slot instead of a full SD card slot. That didn't change. There's still a micro SD, I think it's SDXC card slot. And then the I/O was microphone, power, the Surface dock, the connector into the keyboard, mini DP, and a USB 3 Type A port. That's all it was before, and that is exactly what it is now. The reason why I remember is because I just made the freaking video about it. No Type C, no additional Type A. If you want to plug in like a mouse and a flash drive at the same time, you're boned. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. And then the pen isn't included in it anymore. The pen is so much better now, which is super cool. The pen is actually like drastically better now.
Right.
And you could, that's another interesting thing. You could just buy the pen because it's backwards compatible and use it with your Pro 4.
And that's probably what a lot of people
Yeah.
are going to do.
Like, because the pen is it's like 4 times as precise. It now has like tilt functionality, and latency is way lower. It's the lowest latency input pen that there is. Like, pen's super cool. There you go.
Did it join the, does it have like 15 new things about it that are better than any other pen?
I wish.
Can we call it the Pen 15? I would love that. I would love that if they just didn't acknowledge it at all. A straight face. Here's 15 things about the Microsoft Pen that are the best.
I feel like you know how Musk wanted to line up the S and the 3 and the X.
Yeah.
I feel like if he released a pen.
Well, no, he wanted it to be E, and Ford screwed him on it. That's why we had the 3. So that's why we ended up with S3X. He wasn't even going to be that subtle, man.
Yes, Model E, and then they said it was too close to Model T or whatever, which is ridiculous.
Well, I thought they had a Model E. I thought that was the problem.
Well,
I'm not much of a car guy, so it's hard for me to necessarily remember this stuff. Is there a Ford?
Yeah, they do.
Ford Model E. Yeah, there you go. So that's why they wouldn't let him get away with it. But that's okay. You know, smart guy like Musk, he can figure out how to get around that.
Use some leet speak. Why not?
Speaking of smart guys like Musk, how stoked do you think he is on this? The original article here is from Futurism.com. And this is some Skynet
so creepy
shiz right about now, you guys.
I'm going to get this in Twitch chat real quick.
This is some crazy business. The headline is, Google's new AI is better at creating AI than the company's engineers.
Oh, I linked the wrong thing in Twitch chat.
This is the AutoML project, an artificial intelligence that assists in the creation of other AIs. This is exactly what Terminator told us not to do. Exactly.
Yeah, like to a T. So an AutoML is a controller neural net that can propose a child model architecture which can then be trained and evaluated for quality on a particular task.
Wow. So far, they've used this AutoML tech to design networks for image and speech recognition tasks. So the system matched Google's experts for image recognition and exceeded them in speech recognition, designing better architectures than the humans were able to create.
This is one thing that I'm interested in, though. Was that ever? Or were they put in like a time window? Like, were the humans and the AI both given an hour or a day? Or was it like what the humans have been able to make up until now?
To be honest, I haven't looked much further into it than that.
I haven't seen that information kind of anywhere, because that's actually a pretty interesting difference.
Right. There were a couple more quotes on it. I can have a look and see if I can find anything about that.
Because I'm not trying to say that it wouldn't be possible ever for them to do it, but I feel like right now it would be on like a similar timed test.
I don't think so. It really doesn't sound that way.
Because like, did they? Because we're saying speech recognition, right?
Yeah.
So did this AI make a better speech recognition thing than what Google is using currently right now? Because if not, then it didn't beat it.
Approve its proposals for.
It's worded in a way that I can't like 100% be certain.
It is a little bit tough to tell exactly what they mean, but either way, it sounds terrifying. So basically, here's the quote: "If we succeed, we think this can inspire new types of neural nets and make it possible for non-experts to create neural nets tailored to their particular needs, allowing machine learning to have a greater impact for everyone." Oh, I'm sure machine learning is going to have an impact.
Yep.
Dun, dun, dun. It's funny. I was never really much of a Doctor Who guy. And then I binge watched the entire 20 whatever Doctor Who, not 20th century Doctor Who, the 20 year something Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And I was just like, This is great. I think I must be one of the only people who really liked the first Doctor from the reboot.
New generation.
Yeah, I don't even remember his name anymore, but I actually thought he was pretty awesome. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But it makes me think of the episode where the cars like drive people off into the water and stuff like that. Because they're taking over the world's electronic devices and all that kind of thing. Like I'm gonna be.
Someone in chat in all capital letters. The first Doctor was awful.
He was not awful. Remember, too, though, that I'm coming at it from a really different perspective as someone who never watched the old show and basically, other than knowing that it was something to do with a blue phone booth, knew nothing about it.
I know there's a blue phone booth. I know there's a crazy screwdriver.
Wait,
and I know
you haven't watched Doctor Who?
No. I think he, like, dies sometimes, and then he, like, glows, and then another one shows up. Or does he, like pass the screwdriver forward? Is it a different screwdriver? Is it a sonic screwdriver? No? No.
Okay, I'm sad now. Okay, you gotta watch some Doctor Who, bro. Okay, it's actually okay. It's really camp, but it's like actually really good. It's really good. You'll like it. You'll like it.
All right.
All right. Let's.
That's all I know about
The only, it's funny. I'm leaning on you really hard, even though I went so long without watching it.
Yeah.
But the reason I'm doing it is that's what made me finally go, okay. Like Firefly. I was like, okay, fine, fine. I'll watch it, okay? I'll watch it. Because, like, honestly,
nerd fandoms go that way.
It's terrifying. Tackling, like, Firefly was okay because there's only one season. But, like, when someone comes to you and they're like, this is a really great show, there's 9 freaking 20 episode
and I think
seasons.
It's still going, right? So
and you're just like, this is like a week of my life that I'm committing to this if I like
and
it.
And see, like, usually I wait till shows are over.
I still haven't watched any Game of Thrones.
Me neither, because I'm waiting for it to end. Okay, I think I watched like the first season, but I don't really remember.
Well, I read the first book, found out they weren't all written, and I was like, flip desk. Nope. I own them all on like Kindle.
I didn't know there was books. Usually I read the book first.
Right.
I ended up watching a couple episodes and I was like, damn, this show's weird as hell, but pretty good. So I ended up watching the whole first season. Then I was like, I'll wait till all the seasons are done. And then I figured out there was books and I bought the books. And then was like, oh my goodness, there's more books coming. Damn it.
So we've gone through exactly the same. I've actually gone one step further. I already own the Blu-rays for like the first 5 seasons. HMV? HMV
disappeared.
Shut down. Yeah. And I went in and like seasons of Game of Thrones were like $14 or something on Blu-ray. Like it was ridiculous.
That's really good.
So I bought like $400 worth of Blu-rays that day. I got so much good stuff.
That's pretty
And I was just like, yeah, okay, well, the good news is I have lots of time to rip it all to my Plex server because I won't be watching it for a very long time.
Yes, yeah.
All right, what else? Google has made the ultimate marketing tool.
Yeah, so this is what I actually thought we were sharing before.
The original article here is from bleepingcomputer.com, and it'll come up eventually. Way to go, bleepingcomputer.com.
So this is.
Oh, I timed it just wrong. It finally
This is
came
super
up.
creepy. The last one was like, oh my god, they're gonna take over the world. That's really scary. This one's like, oh my god, this is the creepiest thing freaking ever.
What the actual hell is this?
Yeah.
At the annual Google Marketing Next conference, the Mountain View search and advertising giant announced a new service that will let advertisers track and tie offline credit card payments with ongoing marketing campaigns. So this system will be driven by machine learning and combines data from Google's regular campaigns with third-party partnerships, which capture 70% of credit and debit transactions in the US.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
Yeah.
The good news is that
they use like geolocation and everything to tie in everything. So like they'll find mood patterns where like if something is happening, like say your phone is blowing up from certain contacts, and you tend to make certain impulse purchases when certain people are blowing up your phone, they'll like, I'm not even kidding though.
Flowers!
They'll throw advertisements at you for different services and whatnot.
And of course, they're analyzing exactly what's being said even, so they don't even have to look for it to blow up. They could just look
They could know before you know, and then have those ads ready for you.
Our anniversary's coming up, and boom, Sky Helicopters ads. Actually,
they'll know your like target price probably too, from your payment history. So they'll give you like a value appropriate ad.
I mean, at what point do we just live in capsules like the Matrix, and we just get like when we want it, we get like an injection of happiness, and when we want it, we get like some
fidget
food
spinners
into our. You know what's really funny is I'm probably, and I'm just gonna kind of jump in here, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm probably the most fidgety person you know.
Yeah, and I'm really fidgety too, but that's not I don't even know why they're called that.
I have never been even tempted to try a fidget spinner.
No, because it's too like basic, one-dimensional.
I don't get it. Like I fidget with whatever's in front of me. Like I used to drive Nick Light freaking crazy on our conference calls because we used to do them in the WAN show room back when we were at the old Langley place, and there was a boom arm that had the microphone for the show above where we'd sit on the couch, because that was the couch. We'd sit on the couch and we'd do our conference calls together. And so whatever was in my hand, I would put my arm out and I would throw it up over the pole to myself.
I remember that.
And catch it to myself, and I would like hit the boom arm from time to time, and people who were on the call with us would be like, "Oh, it's what? Sorry, did you guys cut out for a second?" And Nick would be just like, but yeah, I just don't get
it's
fidget
too
spinner
like
thing.
But the thing is, you're fidgeting, and like I think we have similar kinds. You'll like grab something and like throw it around, and you're like really interactive with like this is too boring. There's not enough going on.
That doesn't really.
It's way too boring.
With that said, have you tried one?
No.
Okay, so maybe before we dismiss
we
should at least, if you're
But then
gonna
I don't
say
wanna
that,
buy one of those stupid
if
things.
you're gonna say crack cocaine is bad, you should at least try it first.
Okay, just so like it's on record, no, obviously not.
No, obviously not, but that
Yeah.
won't change the gifts.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the marketing next, Google Attribution. So that's what the service is going to be called.
Yeah.
It aggregates details about the ads displayed on your phone, the sites and time that you visited them, what you've searched in Google. It uses geolocation and Wi-Fi information from your phone to tell if you've gone to the mall or walked into a store that sells that product. And finally, with the integration of payment data from third-party partnerships, Google will know if you've bought that product and will report it in the advertiser's AdWords dashboard. It's driven by machine learning and combines data from, okay, we already said that part. Holy freaking crap. With that said, if Google knew that my wife's birthday was coming up and suggested Sky Helicopters, that would be pretty cool. We finally went on our helicopter ride.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I bought it for her back in October. It's
been a bit.
Which is when her birthday is, and I didn't have to think about that for a sec. And it took until now for us to do it because we've had a very, very young baby. And it was kind of like the reason for the timing, the reason for the gift, the reason for giving her a gift that I knew she wouldn't be able to enjoy for a bit was it was like, hey, hun, everything is horrible right now because we have an infant. But here's something to really look forward to.
Yeah, that's
once
cool.
we can leave the baby at home for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And so we went flying up into the mountains. Just north of the greater Vancouver area.
Okay, yeah.
And these pictures are freaking sick. So it's actually my sister's boyfriend who took us up there, and so he's a helicopter pilot, and he even got us like a small deal. And freaking man, we did the sunset. We did the sunset tour. Yeah, sorry, you guys won't be able to see this.
Wow,
but
that's really cool.
It's like frickin' wilderness. Hold on. Oh, I'm going backwards. No, I'm getting to like just flying over like the city. That's not as good.
Oh, you guys got out.
But we got like way. Oh yeah. We land on a mountaintop.
That's really cool.
And you can just see as far as the eye can see the entire top of the mountain.
That's awesome.
Is just like it's like a jagged peak, but it's like flattened out from the cone of snow on the top. and like you're like on top of the world, and as the sun goes down, the light was just like we got the perfect light. So the sun coming through kind of a light cloud on us, but blue skies above us, and it was just, oh, that one's blurry. It was just unreal. Middle of nowhere. This would be like a 3-4 day expedition for a very experienced mountaineer.
Yeah.
Or you can fly up there in like 20 minutes.
That's pretty awesome.
But let me just see if I can find like one of the pictures we took like right when the sun was setting. It's like frickin' unbelievable. It's like so quiet. Just crazy. Got like the helicopter in the background there.
That's
Honestly,
really cool.
It was really expensive. Like it was still like $500. So it's not the kind of present that I would buy every year or anything like that. But again, like, you know me, I'm the kind of person who does like a big gift once in a while, and then like, here's some, you know, breakfast or whatever.
Thingies.
More like a gesture.
And I think in that case, it sort of makes sense. Like, this sucks right now, but here, like, just look at this. Don't worry about it. Let's keep going. Yeah.
It was like to get, it was as much for me as it was for her to get both of us through the next 6 months. Speaking of getting through the next 6 months, you know, we gotta make sure we keep the lights on in the studio for the next 6 months. So, sponsors for the WAN show today. You know what's funny is I actually didn't know this until when I was working on Pimp My Wi-Fi out in Singapore, that EnGenius, in addition to making consumer grade stuff, actually makes enterprise class networking gear. So this right here is the EWS 360 AP. It's an enterprise-class dual-band access point, ideal for large offices, schools, and hospitality guest Wi-Fi access. It features 11 AC speeds, and it's got a bunch of business-class features. It can operate in autonomous or managed mode. It's got a high-powered radio with a 3x3 antenna design, and it's got meshing technology built in. So that means you can actually run, and obviously it's not as good as running a wire to every single AP. We know, but sometimes you don't really have a choice, and a mesh can be very, very convenient. So this is where they really kill it in terms of the total cost of ownership. Unlike some other enterprise access points, there are no per device license fees and no annual subscription fees. So that's what keeps, so while the AP itself might not be that cheap compared to another access point, that's not really the point. The point is lower overall total cost of ownership. So check it out over at ingeniustech.com/newegg.html. Also sponsoring the show this week, Mack Weldon. You look so sharp when you wear a collar. I think, other than the first year at CES where you bought, you did it the way that like noobs buy clothes. Where you bought an outfit.
Yep.
Like a shirt, a vest, a pants. Anyway, I think that's like one of the only times I've ever seen you dress up. The collar suits you though.
There was also wait, did you say Computex?
Oh, Computex too, that same year.
Yeah.
So Mack Weldon believes in smart design, premium fabrics, and simple shopping. Even he could do it. They make super comfortable underwear, socks, shirts, undershirts, hoodies, and sweatpants. And they have a line of silver underwear and shirts that are naturally antimicrobial, which, and this is a really fun fact, is actually a thing. You can put silver in your water cooling loop, and it will kill bacterial growth. Silver ions. That's a thing. So when they lace these fabrics with silver, they actually naturally kill the microbes that cause BO. You're still gonna sweat, obviously, but hey, at least it helps.
And like, you should still wash it out and stuff. But like,
yes, Mack Weldon, the only clothing you never have to wash. You heard it here first. It was a complete and utter lie, but you heard it here first. Anyway, Mack Weldon wants you to be comfortable, so if you don't like your first pair of boxers, you can keep it and they will still refund you. And not only do their underwear, socks, and shirts look good, they perform well too. Great for working out, going to work, going on dates, and just everyday life. I mean, basically, good clothes should be good for everyday life.
Yeah.
So go to MackWeldon.com and get 20% off using promo code TECHTIPS. That's our tip for you today. Going to Mack Weldon and saving some money.
Hooray.
Oh yeah, another tip. LTX is happening! TicketRocket.co/event/detail/97246/LTX-2017.
I still don't know why we haven't URL shortened that.
I also don't know why.
That's
but
fine.
What the hey?
If you want to come hang out.
Yeah, so it's going to be on July 29th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. We're going to have the whole LTT crew there. We're going to have fun booths, including the case toss, the guess how many CPUs are in a jar, and playing Rocket League IRL.
We're going to use the...
Not with, like, the super-powered cars,
okay.
but there's, like, actually, like, kits you can buy. So, yeah.
Okay.
Or
cool.
rent, rather.
Oh, okay.
So there'll be, like a whole kit. So it's going to be halfway tech. Like, we're going to have some partners coming out and, like, teching it up. Like game at 144 hertz and 4K.
Cool.
I think those guys are coming out. And then we're going to have stuff that's just, like, completely carnival. Like, you know those things with the big, long bungee cord? Where you, like, run as fast as you can, as hard as you can against the bungee cord, and then it, like, rips you back?
Oh, God.
So we're gonna get one of those, I think. So we're just gonna have just a mishmash of like stupid,
I will do that one.
Fun crap to do, and you come hang out with the LTT crew. Tickets are $30, or there's a bigger package that includes Floatplane membership and some other cool stuff. So there you go. LTX is coming. All right.
Other news topics.
What else we got here? Oh yes, leaks. So SciSoftware.net is the original source for the leak here, and it looks like a gigabyte board running an Intel Core i7-7900X 10-core CPU at 4 gigahertz base, 4.5 boost, was leaked AF. So that is the local rank number 2. Okay, a lot of these numbers don't mean a whole lot to me, but that's okay. 20 threads. 4 gigahertz. Wow. If that is the actual TDP rating, that is basically Intel turning up the heat quite literally. Like, they have been so conservative in the stock speeds of their processors for so long. If this 175 watt TDP is for real, you are going to need like a dual 120 millimeter liquid cooler in order to keep this thing boosting up.
Which is cool.
Which is great.
For those of you on like SoundCloud listening to the podcast, which almost no one does because we never mention that it exists, it's 175 watts.
Why are you plugging the audio version? Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
I think it's on iTunes too.
Is it?
Yeah. I think Colton set up like an automated thing.
People ask me every once in a while, like, when are you guys gonna make it like a legit podcast and like go on like iTunes and stuff? And I'm like, I don't even know if we are or not right now.
Hey.
We might already be.
The WAN show is a legit podcast.
I think they mean like audio podcast.
Well, you know what?
Oh, jeez.
There it is. Look at that.
It is on iTunes.
iTunes. There's okay, that one didn't go up until like mid this week. But you could still listen to it on iTunes. So it's like week old news, 4 days late.
Okay, we should maybe
it's not automated. It's probably not automated. Colton probably is doing it manually.
Wow.
Which I appreciate his dedication. But there you go. Yeah, the WAN show is on iTunes. Okay. Now you know. It's a free download on iTunes. Can you see how many people like
I have
care?
No idea.
Customer reviews. Okay.
Hey, let's read these.
Let's read some reviews. Great guys. I've been watching their content ever since they started making tech videos on the internet there, buddy. Glad to see them make the jump to iTunes as well. Very informative and well done tech and news coverage.
That Canadian accent. Damn.
Really glad to see the WAN show make its way to YouTube, buddy. It's two guys having fun, laughing at the silly state of the world, focus on technology. Love to support them as they Canadian boys.
Okay, that one legitimately sounded like a Canadian wrote
it. It did too, right?
Yeah.
Good to see this make its way to the iTunes. Good idea, so you can listen to it whenever you want there, buddy. Great job, guys. Keep up the good work.
Where you want there, buddy? If that legitimately said buddy, that would have been perfect.
I wish it said buddy.
Yeah.
But that second one, that did say as they Canadian boys.
And it sounded Canadian before it said that.
Yep.
So that was pretty good.
So there you go. If you ever left a review, I think that's all three. If you ever left a review of the WAN show on iTunes, then you got a hardcore WAN show call out.
Yeah, there you go.
T Moody, Demon Hunter, and YOLO Swag Shop.
Yes, and there's 4 numbers after it. So like YOLO Swag Shop was taken, and now it's YOLO Swag Shop 1275.
You know, I excuse it
So
these
good.
days, but I remember when like email addresses were easy enough to get, unique ones were easy enough to get, that like when I met my wife, I legitimately straight up held it against her that her email address at the time was sweetheart09 at something. And I was just like, really? I don't know if this relationship's going to be a thing.
In my girlfriend's defense, she has a Gmail now.
Okay.
She got off the Yahoo train, finally.
Oh, well, she wasn't at Yahoo. So, yeah, was not at Yahoo. She was at, like, a real email provider.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, she fixed it.
Yeah. Sorry, Emma, but you're done.
No, she fixed it. She fixed it. Everything's fine.
What else we got? AMD discusses upcoming RAM settings in Ryzen. So this was actually big news when Ryzen was first launching, that there was pretty much nothing to adjust. Like you could turn the speed up as high as you could go, and you could tighten up primary timings, but like that was it. Now they are opening things up a fair bit more. So there's actually some really great news here. This is community update number 4. So first of all, I was talking to my buddies over at Lime Tech, Unraid, and blah, 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 FTC disclosure. I am involved in potentially investing in Lime Technologies. Anyway, so I was talking to my buds over there, and they were like, this virtualization news is good news because Ryzen has not been a lot of fun in Unraid with virtualization up till now. So here we go. They're getting fresh support for PCI Express access control services, which primarily enables support for manual assignment of PCIe graphics cards within logical containers called IOMMU groups. So the hardware resources, blah, 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 can be dedicated to virtual machines. So this is for GPU pass-through, and this is what projects like 7 Gamers, 1 CPU have been all about. Without ACS support, 3D accelerated graphics in a VM was like not going to be a thing. So this is freaking awesome.
That's really good.
With ACS support, it is also possible to split. See, they're talking about this. A 2 GPU system such that a host, Linux OS, and a Windows VM could both have dedicated graphics. This is exactly what we're talking about. It's freaking awesome. Also, what's next for memory? So added dividers for memory clocks up to DDR4 4000. Good luck getting that running. Command rate is coming. And a bunch of secondary timings. So there you go. Freaking cool. Wow.
That's really cool.
All the things.
That's a pretty huge update, actually.
All the freaking things. So you won't get any of this functionality until your motherboard manufacturer bakes it into a UEFI update. But it's good to know that these things are being worked on. And again, this comes down to like us not necessarily being that comfortable saying go buy Ryzen now, but us also having the confidence to give the technology a positive spin in our review, because we were sure that given a little bit of time, AMD was going to get this stuff worked on. So I am flipping excited for what they're doing right now over there. Oh wow, thank you, Ivan.
Yeah,
you guys may or may not have noticed, but Ivan like kind of is sleeping in a corner of the warehouse right now.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of you will actually even know who Ivan is, but he's the OG crazy Russian, is what I used to always refer to him as back in the NCIX Tech Tips days. And I've been informed it's not Russian, it's Soviet Canadian. Okay.
Okay.
I got
okay.
that's what I said. OG crazy Russian, because that's what I called you. Not like I was referring back to something that I said that was wrong. Yeah. You too, bro. Okay. Anyway, he brought us water. He's good people. I mean, mine doesn't have any ice in it, but
I think mine has like construction stuff.
you know, it's a learning experience. What else we got? 26 more parameters, blah, blah, blah. We're expecting these BIOSes to roll out sometime in the mid to late June timeframe. There are apparently a couple boards that already have public betas. The GA-AX370 Gaming 5 from Gigabyte and the Crosshair 6 from Asus. Europe modernizes media rules, keeps TV relevant. This is a super boring
there's some
article
weird
on
stuff.
Europa.eu.
Apparently, the revised directive gives broadcasters more flexibility as to when ads can be shown. The overall limit of 20% of broadcasting time is maintained between 7 a.m. and 11 p.m., but instead of the current 12 minutes per hour, broadcasters can choose more freely when to show ads throughout the day.
Okay, so that gives them the ability to sell a lot more advertising during prime time and then kind of ease off it when most people aren't listening, kind of like what you'll see them do on the radio, where they'll have like an hour of uninterrupted ad-free music when nobody's freaking listening anyway.
Yeah, like really late at night. They'll
then, like, during
they'll
your
even
commute,
do like 4 hours or something.
Like during my morning commute on TSN 1040, it's the only radio station that I still know exists. It's like an 18-minute drive, and I will get like at least one ad for where to take my Cummins turbo diesel. Yeah, Cummins or Cummins? Cummins?
I think Cummins is a different.
All the car people are coming for me.
Oh!
Hey! Anyway, so I know where to get my diesel repaired. I know where to Cummins, okay. I know where to go for my my freight and logistics. I know where I could buy a Chrysler. And like all this, they get like so many sponsor reads in there.
So the reason why we're saying Cummings, and most people are probably freaking the heck out, is that is a like trailer and engine shop that's actually somewhat near us. So we've probably seen their advertisements. That's a local shop.
Okay.
It's Cummins is the specific, yeah.
Okay. So anyway, what else are they doing? Blah, 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 blah. The new proposed rules are platforms which organize and tag a large quantity of videos will have to protect minors from harmful content, such as pornography and violence, and protect all citizens from incitement to hatred. So this is basically kind of leveling the playing field a little bit. Like, you know, let's say some popular cancerous online personality that is driving viewers to a platform. TV doesn't even really have the option to like if everyone's kids are attracted to this person who swears a lot and spews a lot of hate and garbage, but it's driving traffic and driving revenue to the platform. Basically, what they're trying to do is level the playing field a little bit. They're going, okay, look, you can't market that at minors.
Yeah.
Okay. Will now ensure that regulatory authorities are truly independent from government and industry to ensure that the Audiovisual Media Act is in the interest of the viewers. And they want to something. Yeah, I really don't know if that's going to save TV, but I wish them luck.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Wonderful. Just when I was enjoying the Galaxy S8 and its iris scanner. This is from bleepingcomputer.com. The Samsung Galaxy S8's iris scanner is apparently easily hackable and fooled by a photo, which is funny because I remember specifically sitting in a Samsung briefing for the Note 7. They promised all kinds of things about the Note 7. They promised it wouldn't explode. Well, they didn't specifically.
Did they? Yeah, I don't
know. It never came up. But they said that the iris scanner wasn't going to be like facial recognition and that it wouldn't be easy to fool. But apparently a photo of a person's eye taken at medium distance is more than enough to trick a Samsung Galaxy S8 smartphone, according to researchers from the Chaos Computer Group.
So they're saying that they use depth scanning to try to like make it more advanced, and that whole advancement was bypassed by gluing a contact lens on top of the image, creating a round surface on top, and that successfully tricked everything.
Interesting. So, and this is because modern iris scanners and facial recognition systems are programmed to use image depth in order to distinguish between photos and a human or like other three-dimensional object. So
I think there's a number of different ways that you could break that, to be honest.
Clever trick. And this is great. To get the best results with your hack, you are going to want to use a Samsung printer. Perfect. So take photos using the camera's night shot mode as it captures iris details better. And then he got the best results with a Samsung laser printer.
The thing is, okay, to be fair, that out of everything on this article, that seems a little sensationalist. Because he might have had, like, a Junko printer,
Yes.
and then, like, the really expensive Samsung printer that he bought, and been like, haha, guess what? Or he had just 2 different Samsung printers, and was like, yeah, my
Both
best
of them work
result
great.
was off the only one I had.
Thanks, Samsung, for sponsoring this article on the... No,
Yeah.
not so much. Okay, we've got an iPhone rumor. So why don't we move on to something else? Researchers engineer shape-shifting noodles. Researchers from MIT engineer noodles that can change shape. So these sheets of gelatin transform into 3D shapes when dunked in water, which could save on food shipping costs.
Oh.
Solving the world's problem, one air pocket at a time.
Why
and
does
I'm
it
not
need
even
to change shape, though?
Well, because people like noodles in different shapes. People I like bow ties. You know, my family always called them diapers.
Why? That's gross.
Think about that next time you're eating pasta.
Why would you do that?
Especially if you've
seems
got
so
kind of
unnecessary.
like a really chunky sauce in it.
Oh,
Just
great.
think about that
Yeah.
while you eat it, okay?
Some, like, not minced enough
Chunky
beef.
diapers. Chunky
Nice,
diapers.
nice. Yeah. With, like, a yellow curry.
Yeah. So bad. Why did you have to bring curry into it? It looks the same going in as coming out.
Oh, that was good. That was good. That was good.
That was awful is what it was.
I thought, okay, at first I thought this was like a feed the hungry thing. Not just, we're going to save money on shipping costs because that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the researchers created flat discs that wrap around beads of caviar similar to cannoli.
Cannoli.
I don't know much about caviar, so.
Cannoli.
As well as spaghetti that spontaneously divides into smaller noodles
Wow.
when dunked in hot water. Like, I could see, if they get away with it, I could see Kraft buying this, like, patenting the crap out of it, and that being, like, the only pasta my kids would eat. They'd be like,
Because
no!
it'll, like, grow.
We want the purple ketchup, and we want the magic noodles.
But now the Kraft package, instead of being this big and that thick,
Yeah.
it'll be like,
You would just take like this brick of noodles. It would be like, you know, like the food synthesis machines on like futuristic shows, right? Where you just like have the little brick
Take a
of thing
little
and you
block.
throw it in and it's like pasta.
Yeah.
And I mean, knowing Kraft, they'd find a way to find something that tastes nothing like cheese but is somehow delicious anyway, and mix it in there all pre-done. You just be like, it's like a KD square.
Yeah.
And maybe if America is really nice and eats up all their vegetables, they'll get the good version this time.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
This is interesting. Apparently, even if you were to pack macaroni perfectly, which would be the be-all and end-all of OCD, you still end up with 67% of the volume wasted as air.
I'm not even surprised.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, so it would be drastically smaller than before.
Okay, so do you remember how we had talked about as like an offshoot business, potentially building like VR arcades or like local VR centers, just as like kind of a, hey, LMG has some cash flow, why don't we like invest in a new business idea? I'm actually glad we didn't,
me too.
because IMAX is apparently opening up virtual reality centers, and I'm sure that IMAX is going to do it better than we would.
It's also really expensive.
Yeah, it's really expensive, but IMAX is going to be kind of like the premium option. They actually talked about this a fair bit at the Acer event that I attended a few weeks back, and basically they're like creating custom. So they've got all the partnerships with the film industry, so they want to create custom content with like AAA IPs, so people can go in and have like.
Yeah, well, there's a quote here that says you walk out of a movie all excited about having seen John Wick or the Avengers, and you can walk right next door, like within the same building, right next door, not like to the next building, and continue being immersed in that experience because you can like continue the story as that character or whatever. which is pretty sick.
So in the first 4 months of 2017, the pilot center that they have down in LA registered more than 25,000 admissions with an average revenue of $15,000 per week. So they're planning 5 U.S. centers, and they talked about, at least back at the Acer event, how they could see this becoming like a worldwide frickin' thing. So what we had talked about was really a lot smaller. It was kind of like you'd go into like a little place, and there would just be like, you know, machines set up, and you could play VR games.
We took some inspiration from a few of the like interesting tech places around the world videos that I've made.
Yep.
And it was going to be like a cool place to hang out. There was probably going to be some food and like maybe a bar, and then in the back somewhere there'd be like VR areas where there'd be like a TV set up for each station, so your friends could like kind of watch you play, and there would be enough setups that you could all play against each other, with each other, or whatever. But we decided not to, not only because, we had the foresight to kind of realize that if it was super worth it, someone else would probably wreck us anyways, which sounds like it ended up being what was going to happen. And also that VR just wasn't at all ready yet when we wanted to do it.
You know what? Guildford Mall has a little VR thing. It's like $35 an hour or something like that. Do you know how well it's doing? When I went in, there were like 3 or 4 people playing. I just walked past it and I was like, whoa!
Yeah.
And I kind of popped my head in, but
yeah.
I think that's probably pretty much it for the show, but I do have kind of a bombshell to drop for those of you who have made it this far. So I regret very much to inform you guys. This will be, I want you guys to kind of hear about it from us rather than just kind of figure it out eventually. But Nikki V is moving on from Linus Media Group. This is not an April Fool's prank. Do not adjust your calendars. Basically, he's actually taking a position making biking videos, which actually makes a ton of sense for him. That's something that he's always been super passionate about. But
I'm excited for him.
Yeah, it's funny. We've never really lost anyone who made it past their probation. And in 2 weeks, actually, Chelsea left, as some of you probably noticed already, and we hadn't really kind of figured out how to talk about that yet. And Nick Van Berkel will be no more. Now, he's still here for 2 more weeks, and I had actually asked him already, if not next Friday, because I'll be in Taiwan, but the Friday after, which will be his last day, if he'd like to come on the WAN show and kind of hang out and maybe, I don't know, chat with you guys, do some Q&A, whatever, just kind of chill one last time. But that'll be adieu.
So I had an idea off the stream, but I feel like I should pitch it now so that I can get the support of the WAN show audience.
Oh my God, everyone's freaking out.
Yeah.
If it helps at all, I feel exactly the same way, but
it's
I think it's the right thing.
I think everyone here is freaking out to a certain degree, but yeah, I agree with Linus. He's always been into bike stuff. He's always been into outdoor videos, snowboarding videos, bike videos, or whatever, and that's totally been his passion. I'm really excited for him. I want to see the stuff he's going to make. Mm-hmm. I think it's...
I don't think it's impossible that we'll ever cross paths again. To be clear, we're parting on... I mean, it's still kind of... it still kind of stings, but we're parting on good terms, so...
I'm kind of hoping some weird tech thing will come out that is very well displayed on a bike.
Yep.
And we'll just be able to kind of work with him.
There'll be an opportunity to collab a little bit. It's not like he won't still be making videos.
Yeah.
He's not moving out of the Vancouver area, so he's not going to be like in a completely other country or anything like that. So it's what is it? It's
bittersweet?
It's not goodbye, it's see you later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had an idea. For like one kind of cool channel super fun video that he could do before he goes.
Okay.
A last tune-up.
A last tune-up. Oh lordy.
It might be too much.
I don't know. It might be too much for me to handle. I'm already gonna think of him every time I drive that car. Gonna be like, Nikki V.
For those of you that don't know, which is probably not very many of you, but Linus's car, the Super Civic, or the Lambo as it's called, was custom modded, painted, designed, inspired by the one and only Nikki V.
Yeah, there it is. There it is, my friends. all the modifications. He even replaced my windshield wipers because he was like, "These are straight up dangerous, yo. Like these are not wiping your windshield anymore." Painting the racing stripes.
So epic.
So epic. Yeah, we created a lot of memories together. It's really funny. Sometimes I forget how...
Do people still look at it the same way, or do you think it's like kind of known now?
No, I was about to say, sometimes I forget how like ridiculous the car I'm driving is. And then like I'll drive past a school and kids will start like cheering. Like, what are they cheering? Oh, right.
Oh, it's the watermelon car.
Oh, it's that car again. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is with a heavy heart that I make that announcement. Got people asking what's going to happen with Channel Superfun. Channel Superfun's actually kind of up in the air for a number of reasons. Not anything to do with like it's already been up in the air for a while, but we're really not sure what to do with it. Like it's at the point now where instead of being fun, it's kind of stressful to get them done. So an option could be to just like not have an upload schedule for it.
Yeah.
Like to just do it whenever. Another option that I've proposed is still having it be a weekly upload, but just limiting the editing time down to pretty much kind of cutting together some fun thing that we did and making it more about us just kind of going and doing something fun for a bit and less about making a video that's fun.
Yeah.
So I'm really just not sure. I'm not really sure where we're gonna go with that. But that's where we're at.
A lot of people are saying RGB the Civic.
RGB the Civic, yeah.
That's illegal.
Yeah, we'll see. I might want to leave the Civic as is.
Yeah.
In honor of Nikki V.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's pretty much it for the WAN show for this week. I guess we will see you guys again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. If it's all the same to you guys, I have a big trip to Taiwan that I'm leaving for tomorrow. And I'm like pretty freaking tired and like actually haven't had a great couple of days. Oh yeah, I wasn't gonna really do an after party though.
No, I know, but we should show stuff.
Yes.
And things.
Yeah, for those of you who are not signed up for Floatplane Club, come on guys, get with the program. We got a lot of great stuff over there. So you can get the next episode of Scrapyard Wars. Hold on, I'm just trying to remember which one is the right one. I think this is it. I'm trying to log into this account. Oh, no, that wasn't it. Dag nabbit.
Best plane.
Oh no, I know what it is. No, wait. Oh, is that what? Oh, yeah. That's the problem. That's the problem. Cool. All right, so let's have a look. And I actually have just been slammed. I don't even know what's up on Floatplane right now. So we've got LTT, Be As Cool as Casey Neistat. Boosted Board 2.0 review featuring none other than the legend himself, Terran Van Hemert.
Who is not wearing adequate protection. Where are your knee pads? Terran.
Asus Strix GL502 review. So actually really solid, good value 15-inch gaming laptop. This was a simultaneous release, the new Surface Pro 5.
Yeah.
Oh boy. This modular mouse vibrates. The James Donkey 007. Let's see. Yes, the next episode of Scrapyard Wars. So episode 2 is already up on Floatplane. Episode 3 is coming tomorrow.
So YouTube will be getting episode 2 tomorrow. But if you've watched number 1, you watch number 2, and you're like, I'm itching pretty bad, you can get number 3 on Floatplane tomorrow.
The cheapest tablet on the market. This was actually a pretty fun video to make, so we've got
I've
that one up
heard
there
actually
as well.
from more than one person that
Yeah.
it's like pretty cool.
It's kind of redonkulous. In terms of channel super fun, we've got a game of exploding kittens up there, and we've got tech quickies as well. So
What is
one on
that thumbnail for the exploding kittens thing?
oh, it's pure AIDS.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, it's pure AIDS.
Wow!
It's like AIDS pureed. That's how pure it is.
Wow! Wow! My face.
Yeah. Yep.
Dennis. Wow! All right. Cool.
That hardly even looks like Dennis.
Yeah.
I think they were just kind of having fun with it.
Sure.
All right, so thanks for tuning in, you guys. We'll see you again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. I don't know if I'm on the show next week, but you will be.
Yeah.
Oh, am I? When am I back? I have no idea. I don't know. When you cross the international date line,
Things get weird. Yeah. You lose a bunch of time, you gain a bunch of time, things get confusing.
All right. Music. Which one am I looking for? Hold on, wait for it. Oh, that's the one.